Hello, Donna here. In today's video, I'm going to show you two techniques on how to colour paper doilies. The first technique is I'm going to show you how to get these gorgeous colours on your doilies. Now, if you've ever put your doilies directly into a tea bath water and this has happened, I'm going to show you why you can't do it that way. Or not so much why you can't do it that way, why I don't do it that way and why I do it this way. So this way is just achieving a single colour using tea water or coffee water. But what I'm showing you today is a mixture of two colours. This one here is tea, the colour of tea water, and a beautiful grungy pink. I'm just going to set up a very small area to do this. I'll set this up and I'll be back in a minute. So that's the original colour green and I'm just adding the yellow to it. You mix the colours to how you want them. So that's plenty of paint for me to add to the water bath. To make the pink, just start adding the red slowly to the white and build it up to the colour that you want. A little bit of red at a time. Don't just blend the two together very quickly because you'll just make it a lighter red. And you've got to imagine it watered down. We're going to add this to a bowl of water. So I'm just going to put some water in this bowl now. And some water in this bowl now. I don't need a real lot. It's easier to add than it is to take away. I'm going to get some of the pink paint out and put it in here. All I want to do is colour the water. Dissolve that paint. Right, so there's my pink. I'll do the same with the green. You can use any paintbrush you've got. I've got some wider distress brushes here. They would work all right as well, but you use what you've got. So we're going to get some of the pink and we're just going to paint over that. You see how it's just sort of laying in the cracks a bit there? What you can do is you can get that. Now I've got a bit of pink on my brush here. I can bring back in the full paint and I can bring that over and make that a lot darker. See how I'm controlling that? So I'm just washing over the whole doily now just to get that light pink wash. Right, so I'm letting little pools of pink hang around in there. If I add the green to this now, it's just going to turn to mud. Pretty much. So you can get some more pink there and you can add darker and stronger areas of pink wherever you want it. So you control the light and dark areas. Alright, so you got a lovely soft pink to a darker pink. I'll get that dry and I'll be back in a minute. I'm not even going to worry about the back just yet. Okay, so that is dry and we'll just come back in with some of the green now. And we'll put some green randomly over the top. Don't have to cover it entirely. So I've got my base colour down. Now I don't want it to be too much, that green. So I'm now going to blend some of the pink back in with it. I probably could make that pink a bit darker. So I'm going to get some out of this bowl here. and just sit it with it. And where it's not green, I'm just patting down with my brush to get that pink and the green to start complementing each other. You're virtually, you know, painting, if you will. So there's my finished, what I think is finished. I don't think I need to do anything more than that because, like I said, I don't want to risk it turning to mud, those colours. So I've just put a little tiny bit back there. Now I leave that to dry before I even touch the back. If you were going to use this doily on something that was glued down, if you were going to glue this onto a page or onto a tag or onto something, you would not need to colour the back. You would just leave it alone. Now I dried this with a hairdryer because it was going to take way too long to dry naturally. So when I'd done that, because there was pools of coloured water laying on top, the hairdryer actually moved the water around. So if it looks different to what it did when it was wet, that's why. Okay, so you'll always get a different look when it's wet to when it's dry. But that looks beautiful. Going from this to this. That will go in any of your journals. It will lend itself to a vintage journal, a shabby chic journal, anything at all. Now the back, what do you want to do with the back? That is up to you. You have three choices here. You've got your pink, you've got your green, and you've got tea water. Right? I've just ducked out and made some tea water. And what you can do with that is I've made it a shallow bath, so I'm making it colour up strong. So I'll leave my tea bags in. So what I can do is either come back and I can colour the back very lightly because the front is already done. So I can put a light wash across the back. So you can see where it's getting a little bit weak around this circle. So I'm going to be a bit careful around that circle. Again, I'm going to leave some tea water in little pools to get darker colour. Now what I also do to get darker colour is I squash the bag with my brush and get some of that darker colour out of there and just dab that on here as well. Get my dryer and I'll dry that too. Tea dyed on this side just to help it look a bit better on the back, and your two colour on the front. What you also have to make sure you're doing is, see how I've run out of pink here? Got plenty of my water, but you just have to make sure you've got plenty of your base colour. So when you're building up your colour, so you've got your wash, you need more of this base colour to be able to get that contrast of pink in there, especially the pink. Not so much the green. The green seems to work out okay, but the lighter colours of pink, when you want to build it up, you need a little bit more of that sitting off on the side. I've got plenty of that green there. This time I'm going to use a combination of the acrylic paint and the tea water, which is what I've done to achieve this, but it's just going to be a different colour pink. I've looked online everywhere for this colour. This was in my mum's stash. It's obviously a really old colour. I cannot locate this colour online, so I cannot share where to get this colour. You can get this folk art paint from craftonline.com, but this colour, I couldn't find it. It's called 422 Portrait. So this one is two acrylic paints together with tea dye on the back, and this one is tea dyed and an acrylic paint. So I'll show you how to do this one. For this one here, rather than do it in this colour, I'm going to use the same pink as I done in this first one here. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I've already got the paint mixed up and I don't like to waste anything. So I'm not going to make up a new batch of paint when I've got so much here. I am going to use the same doily so that you can see it done the same way. What I also do is I trim off any of these little pieces that are left over on the doily from where they were joined. So I always go around and do that. I mixed up a little bit more paint here so I can have some darker pinks in here. So I'm just going to start off by wetting some areas. I'm not wetting all of the doily like I did before, just some. So some random areas of the pink. I'll do that on both. Now I'm going to come in with some full colour pink. And when this is all wet, all this will blend in. So I'm getting some strong pink colour. When I say full pink, I mean get a little bit of water on it and just blend it a little bit so that it's not just full paint. And you want some nice strong bits so you've got that contrast, some strong bits of pink randomly. Where you think it's going to look good, doesn't have to be neat. You can see this thicker doily here takes it a whole lot better. And we're going to dry that. When you use the dryer to dry your doilies, if you put the dryer here and turn it on, it's going to blow it off the table. So a good tip is hold it up high and then turn it on. Alrighty, so there's our first layer. If you're doing quite a few of these doilies, you would do them, walk away, go do something else, let them dry naturally, and then come back to this stage. So we've got that down. Now we get our tea water and we go in for the darker bit, and I'm going to just tap it in between where it's not pink. Doesn't matter if some of the tea water goes over the pink area because it'll blend in. And I'm leaving pools of the tea water, and that's so that it is going to give me some darker colour in pools. And now I'm just going to go back and dry this. Okay, so you can see the darker tea rings from the pool of water. That is exactly what we wanted to achieve. If you turn it over, you'll see the back has already transferred some colour from the tea water and a bit of the pink. All you need to do is colour the back. So we'll do that first, just so you can see what it looks like. Again, I'm starting from the middle and going out. The trick is to have heaps of tea water on your brush. Don't let your brush get dry. Now we've dried the back. It's a very light colour, but it's all you need. There's a big difference between the original and this. When you look at it on your own, you think, oh, it's very light. But when you look at the before and after, it's very dark. So this is a custom painted doily with a bit of tea water and a bit of acrylic paint. You can make these to custom complement any journal you want to put it in. Pick the colour that you like. It doesn't have to be pink. So what would happen if we just totally dunked this now in a tea bath? You can do it. No one says you can't. But your doily has to be able to handle it. This doily can handle being dunked in the tea water. Not every doily can. Just be aware of that. We'll get that there, and I'm going to put some pools of the darker tea, because it's the darker tea that makes this effective. Those big pools of tea water. I feel that you need to dry it in between to get this type of look, to get those tea rings. The pools of water get you those dark rings. No pools of water, you don't get those rings. You just get that full colour like that. 2 different papers give you 2 different results. I'm going to show you how to do the really large doilies. I'm doing them a lot different to the smaller ones. Look how big they are. These are fantastic to put in your larger journals. I've got to do these a little bit different to the way I done the small one. I'm going to start off by just totally covering the base with the tea water. So I'm brushing all the way over and I'm leaving some big pools of water. Then I'm dipping my brush into the pink water bath and I'm doing the same there. I'm adding that to it at the same time. This time I'm not drying in between the layers. I'm going for broke. So I'm adding some of the paint. So remember, I've got the water bath on the right and the 100% paint in the bowl on the left. I'm using my dryer just to get it started. And while I'm drying it, I use my brush to just move the tea water and the paint water around. I turn the doily over and I start drying it from the back side. Now I'm going to put tea water all over the back. You can see it's still got pools of water, so I get some lovely tea colour. I'm adding the pink paint watercolour as well. This time I pick up one of the tea bags and it's got a lot of colour in it, so I squeeze it all over the doily. I'm back on the front, by the way, and I add some more of the pink paint. So now you can see I've got that lovely brownish pink. It's a real nice vintage colour. I've let it dry and here's the finished result. So you can let it blend as long as the colours are going to suit each other. If the colours suit each other and when they blend together, they work well, you'll be right. It does work better on the bigger doily though, doing this method. So try both techniques. I think you'll get a really good result out of it. So here's a recap. The one on the right is the acrylic paint in the water method, and the one on the left is the tea water and the acrylic paint water. Let me know which one's your favourite. I'd love to hear whether or not you've tried this or you're going to give it a try. I'm Donna. Thanks for watching and bye for now.